You think you can handle the lightning? Commander Jake Steele Harrison laughed as he looked at Lieutenant Avery Anderson standing at attention in his office. This isn't a training simulator, pilot. This is a $90 million war machine. The other pilots smirked, but none of them knew that in exactly 23 minutes, enemy aircraft would breach American airspace, and she would be the only one qualified to stop them. Lieutenant Avery Anderson stood silently in Commander Harrison's office at Nellis Air Force Base, her blue-gray eyes fixed on the wall behind his desk, while 8 male pilots snickered around her. At 26 years old, she had somehow earned a place in the elite Lightning Squadron, despite being banned from flying their most advanced aircraft for the past 6 months. The reason for her restriction sat gleaming on the runway outside, the F-35 Lightning II, America's most sophisticated stealth fighter. Emergency sirens screamed across Nellis Air Force Base like banshees announcing war. Red alert lights flooded Commander Harrison's office as Major Patricia Hayes burst through the door, her face white with terror. "Scramble! Scramble! 24 hostile stealth fighters breaching U.S. airspace!" she shouted over the deafening alarms. "Multiple attack vectors! This is not a drill!" The mockery died instantly. 8 pilots jumped to their feet, grabbing helmets and flight gear with practiced urgency. "How long do we have?" Commander Harrison barked, already reaching for his equipment. 4 minutes before they reach target zones," Hayes screamed. "Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Phoenix, and San Diego under direct threat. Intelligence confirms hostile intent. They've already destroyed our forward patrol." The office exploded into chaos as pilots sprinted toward the exit. Harrison was shouting assignments over the sirens. "Matthews and Taylor, Alpha Flight. Chen and Williams, Bravo Flight. Parker and Stevens, Charlie Flight." Through the windows, they could see ground crews frantically preparing F-35 Lightning IIs for immediate combat launch. The most advanced stealth fighters in the world were being armed with air-to-air missiles and prepared for the battle of their lives. "Anderson," Harrison shouted as they reached the hangar. "You're staying on the ground. Man the communications." "Sir, I can," Avery began quietly. "That's an order. You're not qualified for combat operations in the Lightning." But as 7 F-35s taxied toward takeoff position, an 8th aircraft was already moving without authorization. Aircraft 355-106, Avery's assigned Lightning II, was rolling toward the active runway. Harrison's voice exploded over the radio. "Anderson, return to hangar immediately. You are banned from Lightning operations." "Negative, sir," came her quiet response over the comm system. "American cities are under attack." Before Harrison could respond, the 8th F-35 was airborne, its advanced stealth profile disappearing into the Nevada sky while the other pilots were still completing their takeoff procedures. "God damn it," Harrison cursed, strapping into his cockpit. "She's going to get herself killed." But there was no time for anger. 7 more F-35 Lightning IIs lifted off in rapid succession, their advanced engines creating minimal heat signatures as they climbed toward the approaching enemy formation. "All flights, this is command," came the urgent transmission. "Bogies now bearing multiple vectors. They've split into 4 attack groups targeting different cities simultaneously." Harrison's blood ran cold as he checked his radar display. The enemy aircraft had divided into coordinated attack formations. 6 stealth fighters heading for Las Vegas, 6 approaching Los Angeles, 6 targeting Phoenix, and 6 more diving toward San Diego. 24 enemy stealth aircraft, 4 major American cities, 7 American F-35s to stop them all. The mathematics of survival were impossible. "Alpha Flight, take Las Vegas," Harrison commanded. "Bravo Flight, Los Angeles. Charlie Flight, Phoenix." "What about San Diego?" Captain Matthews called back. 6 bogies heading straight for the naval base." "I'll handle San Diego myself," Harrison replied, knowing it meant facing 6 enemy aircraft alone. Through his headset, he could hear the desperate tactical situation developing. "Alpha Lead, Las Vegas group is using advanced stealth. We can barely track them." "Bravo Lead, LA group is armed with ground attack missiles." "Charlie Lead, Phoenix targets include civilian airports." And then, cutting through all the radio chatter, came a voice so quiet it was almost lost in the static. "I'm engaging the San Diego group." "Anderson, you are not authorized," Harrison began desperately. "Sir," she interrupted, her soft voice carrying steel underneath. "6 enemy stealth fighters are about to attack a naval base with 15,000 sailors. Authorization won't stop them." Harrison checked his display and felt his world shift. Aircraft 35-5106 was approaching the San Diego attack group from an impossible angle, diving towards 6 enemy stealth fighters at maximum speed. "Anderson," he said, fear evident in his voice, "you're facing 6 advanced stealth aircraft alone. This is suicide." Her response was barely audible. "Maybe, sir, but those are American sailors." What happened next rewrote military aviation history. Avery approached the 6 enemy stealth fighters like death descending from heaven. The enemy formation was maintaining perfect discipline, approaching Naval Base San Diego, where the aircraft carrier, USS Carl Vinson, and 4 destroyers sat defenseless at anchor. She could see the massive naval vessels through her cockpit, the pride of the American fleet, home to 15,000 sailors who were going about their duties with no idea that death was approaching from the sky. The enemy stealth fighters were equipped with advanced anti-ship missiles, each capable of sinking a destroyer with a single hit or crippling a carrier with devastating effect. The enemy aircraft were equipped with anti-ship missiles that could sink any warship with a single hit. 15,000 American sailors had no idea that death was approaching from the sky at Mach 1.5. But Avery had spent 6 months studying these aircraft, analyzing their capabilities, understanding their weaknesses. While banned from flying the F-35, she'd memorized every technical manual, every tactical procedure, every combat protocol. What her commanders had intended as punishment had become the most intensive combat preparation in military history. She positioned her Lightning II above and behind the enemy formation, using her stealth characteristics to remain completely invisible to their advanced radar systems. The enemy pilots were focused on their target, committed to their attack vector, unaware that an American stealth fighter was hunting them with predatory precision. Her first missile eliminated the enemy formation leader before they knew they were under attack. The explosion was so sudden and devastating that the remaining 5 pilots didn't even have time to transmit a warning to their command structure. Her second missile destroyed the aircraft coordinating their electronic warfare, instantly blinding their surveillance systems and disrupting their tactical coordination. Without their electronic umbrella, the remaining enemy aircraft were suddenly vulnerable to American targeting systems. The remaining 4 enemy stealth fighters scattered desperately, their disciplined formation dissolving as they tried to locate an attacker they couldn't see on any sensor. Their panic was evident in their flight patterns: tight turns, desperate climbs, evasive maneuvers that burned fuel and degraded their combat effectiveness. But scattering only made them predictable to a pilot who had studied their tactics for months. "Fox 3! Fox 3! Came Avery's whisper over the radio as she fired advanced air-to-air missiles with surgical precision. Her third kill eliminated an aircraft diving toward the carrier with bombs that would have killed hundreds of sailors and potentially sunk America's most advanced aircraft carrier. Her fourth missile found an enemy fighter attempting to coordinate a counterattack, eliminating the threat before it could reorganize the scattered formation. Her fifth kill destroyed an aircraft trying to use the destroyer USS Stockdale as cover, thinking American pilots wouldn't risk hitting their own ship. But Avery's precision was so absolute that her missile eliminated the threat without even scratching the destroyer's paint. The sixth and final enemy stealth fighter, realizing its entire squadron had been decimated by an invisible opponent, attempted a suicide run on the naval base. The pilot pushed his aircraft into a desperate dive, trying to ram the carrier's flight deck in a final act of destruction. But Avery was already there, eliminating it with cannon fire just seconds before it could impact the carrier's flight deck. Her tracers lit up the sky like deadly fireworks, and the final enemy aircraft exploded in a fireball that reflected off the carrier's superstructure. 6 enemy stealth fighters eliminated in 90 seconds by a pilot who had been banned from flying the aircraft she was using to save American lives. San Diego group eliminated, Avery reported calmly, as if she had just completed a routine training exercise. Naval base secure, all ships protected, moving to assist other flights. The silence that followed lasted exactly 5 seconds. Then every pilot in the squadron began talking at once. Did she just say eliminated? 6 stealth fighters in 90 seconds? How is that even possible? She's flying a Lightning like it's an extension of her body. Anderson just saved the entire Pacific Fleet. But the battle was far from over. While Avery had been engaging the San Diego group, the other American flights were struggling against enemies more advanced than intelligence had reported. Alpha Lead, Las Vegas group has active jamming. We can't maintain target lock. Bravo Lead, LA group is breaking through our defensive line. They're targeting Hollywood. Charlie Lead, Phoenix group just fired on civilian aircraft. Multiple casualties reported. Harrison watched his display with growing horror. His pilots were fighting desperately, but the enemy stealth aircraft were equipped with electronic warfare systems that were disrupting American targeting. F-35s were taking damage, and enemy aircraft were breaking through to their targets. American civilians were starting to die, and the tactical situation was deteriorating rapidly. Moving to assist Alpha Flight, came Avery's quiet voice over the radio. Aircraft 355106 appeared on radar, approaching the Las Vegas battle zone at impossible speed. The 6 enemy stealth fighters attacking the city were using advanced jamming to blind American missiles while targeting the Strip's massive hotels and casinos filled with tourists and workers. Avery arrived like lightning from a clear sky. She had studied the enemy jamming frequencies during her 6 months of forced research and technical analysis. While other pilots struggled with disrupted targeting systems, her missiles found their marks with computer-guided precision. Her first kill eliminated the jamming aircraft, instantly restoring American targeting capabilities and allowing the other F-35s to engage effectively. Her second missile destroyed the lead attacker just as it was preparing to fire on the Bellagio Hotel, where thousands of tourists were watching the aerial battle from the casino floor. Her third kill came as an enemy fighter dove toward McCarran International Airport, where dozens of civilian aircraft sat helpless on the runways with nowhere to escape. The 4th, 5th, and 6th enemy aircraft were eliminated in rapid succession, their advanced stealth technology useless against a pilot who understood their systems better than their own designers. Each kill was precisely calculated to protect civilian lives while eliminating the threat with maximum efficiency. Las Vegas group eliminated, she reported with characteristic calm. All civilian targets protected, moving to Los Angeles. The LA engagement was even more desperate. 6 enemy stealth fighters were attacking Hollywood, downtown LA, and LAX airport simultaneously. 2 American F-35s were already damaged and falling back when Avery arrived over the sprawling metropolis. She dove into the urban environment, using the city's complex geography to her advantage while avoiding civilian casualties. Her first missile eliminated an aircraft targeting the Hollywood sign, a symbolic attack that would have been broadcast worldwide as a demonstration of American vulnerability. Her second kill destroyed an enemy fighter approaching the Staples Center during a major sporting event where 50,000 spectators had no idea they were seconds away from death. Her third kill came as she pursued an aircraft through downtown LA, flying between skyscrapers at speeds that should have been impossible in urban terrain. Office workers pressed against windows watched in amazement as an American stealth fighter hunted enemy aircraft through the concrete canyons of the financial district. Her fourth missile found an enemy fighter using LAX's passenger terminals as cover, thinking American pilots wouldn't risk civilian casualties. But Avery's precision was so absolute that she eliminated the threat while protecting every innocent life below. Her fifth kill eliminated an aircraft attempting to attack the port of Los Angeles, where an explosion could have disrupted American commerce for months and killed hundreds of dock workers. The sixth and final enemy stealth fighter tried to escape by flying at street level through Beverly Hills, using ground traffic and residential neighborhoods as cover. Avery eliminated it with cannon fire so precise that not a single civilian was harmed, despite the aircraft crashing just blocks from expensive homes and crowded shopping areas. Los Angeles group eliminated, she reported. All targets secure. Move into Phoenix. By now, command and every pilot in the squadron were watching their displays in stunned amazement. Avery was single-handedly winning an impossible battle, eliminating enemy stealth aircraft with precision that defied everything they thought they knew about aerial combat. The Phoenix engagement was over in 2 minutes. 6 enemy aircraft targeting the city's airports, government buildings, and residential areas were eliminated with methodical efficiency that bordered on supernatural. Each kill was perfectly calculated to protect civilian lives while neutralizing the threat with absolute finality. Sky Harbor International Airport was saved just as enemy missiles were being armed. The state capitol building was protected seconds before impact. Residential neighborhoods housing hundreds of thousands of families were secured by a pilot who treated every civilian life as sacred. All enemy aircraft eliminated, Avery reported with the same calm professionalism she had maintained throughout the engagement. 24 confirmed kills. All cities protected. All civilian targets secure. Mission accomplished. Complete silence filled the radio frequency. 24 enemy stealth fighters, the most advanced aircraft ever built by hostile forces, had been eliminated by a single pilot who had been banned from flying the aircraft she used to save 4 major American cities. 0 civilian deaths in an attack designed to kill millions. 0 American military casualties despite being outnumbered more than 3 to 1. Mission accomplished by the unqualified pilot who had been restricted to ground duties. All flights return to base, Harrison finally managed to say, his voice filled with awe and something approaching reverence. Outstanding work, everyone. Then he added something that would be remembered forever in military aviation history. Ghost, you have the lead for landing approach. As 8 F-35 Lightning IIs descended toward Nellis Air Force Base, something had fundamentally changed in the Lightning Squadron. The quiet woman flying in the lead position was no longer the banned pilot they had questioned and restricted. She was their commander, their inspiration, and their living proof that true excellence cannot be suppressed by bureaucracy or prejudice. In the post-flight debriefing, Commander Harrison stood at the front of the room, staring at a report that seemed impossible to believe, even though he had witnessed every moment of the engagement. 24 confirmed kills of advanced enemy stealth fighters, he announced to the assembled pilots, his voice carrying a mixture of professional respect and personal amazement. All by Lieutenant Anderson flying solo against mathematically impossible odds. He looked directly at Avery, meeting her eyes with genuine admiration. Las Vegas saved, 2 million civilians protected from what would have been the deadliest terrorist attack in American history. Los Angeles protected, 4 million people who went to sleep safely because of your actions. Phoenix saved, 1.5 million residents who will never know how close they came to disaster. San Diego Naval Base defended, Carrier Group, and 15,000 sailors who owe their lives to your courage. The room was absolutely silent. Nobody made jokes. Nobody questioned her qualifications. They had all seen it happen on their displays, and several of them owed their lives to her tactical brilliance. Captain Matthews stood up slowly, his voice filled with genuine respect and gratitude. "Ma'am, this morning I was questioning why you were even in our squadron. This afternoon, you saved 4 American cities and proved you're the most qualified pilot any of us have ever served with." Lieutenant Chen nodded emphatically, his earlier doubts replaced by complete admiration. 24 stealth fighter kills in under 10 minutes. That's not just exceptional flying. That's redefining what's possible in aerial combat. That's the kind of performance they'll study in military academies for the next century. Lieutenant Williams, who had been one of the most vocal critics of her inclusion in the squadron, spoke with obvious emotion. "Ma'am, my family lives in Phoenix. My kids were at school when those aircraft attacked. They're alive tonight because you did what the rest of us couldn't do." But Avery's response was exactly what it had always been: quiet, respectful, and utterly without need for recognition or praise. "Just doing my job, sir. That's what we're all here for, to protect American lives." The silence that followed was different from any quiet moment they had ever experienced as a squadron. This was respectful silence, the kind reserved for warriors who have proven themselves when everything was on the line and the stakes couldn't possibly have been higher. Harrison walked over to her, slowly removed his squadron commander patch from his flight suit and handed it to her personally. "Anderson, you're not banned from anything anymore. You're squadron leader. You've earned the right to command the Lightning Squadron, and after what I witnessed today, I can't think of anyone more qualified to lead America's most advanced fighter unit." For the first time anyone could remember, Avery Anderson smiled. Not a big smile, not a dramatic expression of triumph or vindication. Just a quiet smile that filled the room with confidence, respect, and hope for the future. "Thank you, sir. I won't let anyone down," but everyone in that room already knew she wouldn't. They had seen what the Lightning Ghost could accomplish when American lives hung in the balance and the odds seemed mathematically impossible to overcome. The next day, when 8 F-35 Lightning IIs lifted off for their next patrol mission, Avery was leading the formation. The pilot who had been banned from flying the aircraft had become the most respected Lightning pilot in the Air Force and arguably the most dangerous combat aviator in the world. As they climbed toward their patrol altitude, Harrison's voice came over the radio with nothing but respect and admiration. "Ghost, you have the lead." And Lieutenant Avery Anderson responded with quiet confidence that everyone could hear and respect. "Roger that, Lightning Squadron. Ghost has the lead and I'll bring everyone home." The ban was over. The legend had begun. The respect had been earned in the most spectacular way possible. The woman they had called unqualified had become the deadliest pilot in the sky, proving that sometimes the most dangerous opponents are the ones you never see coming until they strike with devastating precision and absolute lethality. Weeks later, when military analysts from around the world studied the engagement, they discovered something remarkable that would change aerial combat doctrine forever. Avery had achieved a perfect kill ratio against the most advanced enemy stealth fighters ever built, using tactics and strategies that had never been attempted in combat before. She had done it all while flying an aircraft she had been banned from operating, proving her competence in the most spectacular and public way possible. The F-35 Lightning II, America's most sophisticated stealth fighter, had found its perfect pilot in the quiet woman who spoke softly but flew like thunder and struck like lightning. The legend of the Lightning Ghost was born in 10 minutes of perfect combat flying that saved millions of American lives and established a new standard for what was possible in aerial warfare. And it would never be forgotten by anyone who witnessed it or benefited from it. Sometimes the pilot you underestimate is the one who saves your country. Sometimes the voice that speaks softest carries the most devastating message. And sometimes the aircraft you're banned from flying is the one you were born to command with unparalleled skill and deadly precision. Lieutenant Avery Anderson had proven all of these truths in the most spectacular aerial engagement in modern military history, earning her place not just as a squadron leader, but as one of the greatest combat pilots who ever lived and a symbol of what determination and skill can accomplish against impossible odds. From that day forward, no one would ever question whether she could handle the Lightning. The question would be whether anyone else could handle flying with someone whose abilities had transcended normal human limitations and entered the realm of legend. The Lightning Ghost had arrived, and the world of aerial combat would never be the same. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, you can subscribe to see more incredible stories like this one.